Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment for the evening. Hope y'all are doing well. Week 2 about to be in the books tonight. We got a Monday night game, AFC North division rivalry, Packers versus Lions. Vic Jr. and myself, Mo Schefter, here tonight. We may, just like last Monday, get Germ So True to jump on right before we jump off, but we're going to keep it quick. We're going to keep it simple because we want to come back at you either tomorrow or Wednesday with a show before the Thursday night pregame show. And the Thursday night game, we might not even go live because it is the most random Thursday night matchup I've ever seen in my entire life. But let's get things out of the way first. Vic Jr., talk to the people while I share the link. How you feeling tonight?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. It was another fun week. Week 2 was pretty exciting. Some great things happened. Some funny things happened. Some interesting things happened. The drama, the suspense. Shout out to Jackson Mahomes over there getting a little emotional with some of the Raven fans and throwing water on them. I don't know if you saw that, Mo. I know you got pretty busy days, but come on, man. You have the advantage over the Ravens right now. You've been beating them for a few years. You have Super Bowls, and you've beat them in the playoffs. Well, it's week 2 of the NFL season. Now they're gonna have to prove that they can beat you in the playoffs. All right, so let's not let our emotions get the best of us. It's only week 2. Shout out to the Raiders fans as well. They got themselves another victory. They're kind of excited, but again, it's week 2.
Well, listen.
Slow it down a little bit.
Fortunately, I have not shared the link yet because I saw some things wrong with the broadcast. But the link is about to go up in just a second.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Link is live, so we better see some people in the comments section here soon. I see we got a few people already. Welcome. Vic, everything you just talked about, we will touch on. We will get to. But as always, Tanya's in their building. What's going on, Miss Tanya, from Miss First Lady? Shout out to you. You know we love you. We're going to get to everybody. We're going to get to the Raiders fans. We're going to get to the Ravens fans. We're going to talk about so many things in such a little time. So, Vic, we got about 21 minutes to work with right now. We're going to make it a quick show.
Yeah.
We're going to rock it out, and let's get it rolling. As always, we start with, since German's not here, I got to do it myself now. As always, we start with the Midnight Views. All right. So, as always, Midnight Views posted every Sunday at midnight Eastern, sometimes midnight 30, because, island time, you got to give us at least 30 minutes to about 2.5 hours. But regardless, it will be posted at midnight in some time zone, and that's all you need to know. It is the fastest recap in all the land, recapping all of the day's actions found on the Views from the 22 website. Go to blog. The latest edition will pop up first right there on the left-hand side. Make sure you click it. Make sure you read it. It'll take about 90 seconds to read it. We're going to read it right here on the air as we do every Monday. Let's get going. Week 2 was more fun than week 1. The quality of football so far this year has been better than last season. And just side note, we'll talk about that. I think it's got a lot to do with preseason and training camps and all of that. But, no doubt about it. Okay, Patriots versus Jets. Patriots won that game 25-6. Simply put, Mac Jones has the better coach. Patriots have the better team. Rough game for the rookie, no doubt about it. Texans versus Browns. Browns prevailed 31-21. I know they won, but Vic, with all the expectations they had going this year, I am simply annoyed with the Cleveland Browns so far two games into this regular season. Bengals versus Bears 2017. Bears won that game. A fun game to watch. Both defenses played an outstanding game. Rams versus Colts 27-24, just an outstanding game overall. It was a good early test for the Rams versus a quality opponent. Good benchmark for Carson Wentz and the Colts. Key word, Carson Wentz. Bills versus Dolphins, 35-0. Yikes. 49ers versus Eagles, 17-11. Solid win for a solid football team for the 49ers. But I did love the competitiveness of the Philadelphia Eagles. Hashtag real teams have beef. Raiders versus Steelers, 26-17. Raiders won that game. I am not buying into any Raiders hype. We'll see if they're a trick or treat by Halloween. Hashtag spooky season. Saints versus Panthers. Sam, allow me to reintroduce myself. Darnold. 2-0 for the Carolina Panthers. Broncos versus Jaguars. Broncos won that game 23-13. Teddy Bridgewater has found a home, and he has the highest quality furniture. And Von Miller and that defense is ADT security, baby. Falcons versus Buccaneers. The GOAT is doing unparalleled GOAT things, and the Bucs defense is the curry on top. And if you never had curry GOAT or GOAT curry, however you pronounce it on your side, you are missing out. Cowboys versus Chargers. Listen, man, no way the Cowboys were going to lose this in Jerry's second home. But what we did see is the Cowboys need all three phases to play well in order for them to compete in December and beyond. Titans versus Seahawks, and this is a game I want to touch on briefly. Derrick Henry is the most valuable running back in the league, period. Chiefs versus Ravens. Ravens won that game by a point, 36-35. Great win for the Ravens. Great win for Lamar Jackson and his career. Top passing performances of the day. Kyler Murray had 400 yards. Derek Carr, 382. Tannehill, Wilson, and Mahomes, all three in that 345 range. But the best passing performance of the day came from the GOAT. I don't think there's anybody who can dispute that. He was phenomenal with 276 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The top rushing performance came from Derrick Henry, 35 carries, 182 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, 3 guys earned the top performers of the week on the wide receiver side for me. Tyler Lockett had 8 for 178 and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 9 for 163 and 2 touchdowns. And Cortland Sutton had 9 catches and 159 yards. And Derrick Henry led the way with 44.7 fantasy points yesterday. Vic,
yeah,
3
bro.
biggest takeaways from week 2.
I just wrote down like 8, 9, bro. But I'll try to get through it real quick. What I'm gonna do is I'll start with KG. Shout out to KG, one of our biggest supporters here. Denver, man. Denver looks promising. You know, it's a young team. Yes, again, it's week 2. It's early. I said before I said in our pregame show yesterday, talked about how Jerry Jeudy is hurt. And they're gonna, need Cortland Sutton to step up, come from his injury situation, and boy, did he have a great game. I talked about how Teddy Bridgewater just seems to know how to use his receivers. Again, he's not the most gifted quarterback we've seen, but he definitely knows how to use his weapons. And Cortland Sutton, and what they were able to do yesterday was pretty impressive. That's a 2-0 Denver football team. I mean, that AFC West is pretty impressive. I guess I'll go on with KC, bro. The same stuff I have with Josh Allen. The run game that is it's gonna start to come up. It's gonna start giving them some issues, even though they had a great game yesterday. Pat Mahomes, they need to help him with that run game because again, he's being crowned the next GOAT and this, that, and the other. But he has some things that he needs to work on, and they need to help him with a run game. And I guess I'll Mac and Zach game yesterday. Let's kind of, again, it's week 2. I know Zach Wilson is getting a lot of talk right now on it's only their second game. Mac Jones was obviously better, but let's keep in mind he is that quarterback that will take those short throws, those high percentage throws, which is winning football. We've seen Tom Brady do it for over 2 decades. Okay, I don't understand why it still confuses people. But Zach will learn those things and he will get better. And Mac Jones, again, it's just gonna get better from here. So those are my takeaways. I mean, we could go on forever. Of course, it's 7:45 already, but
Okay, it's okay.
it's great.
We're here. Don't worry, because we ain't got much to really talk about tonight's game, but we got a few things to talk about for tonight's game. I'm gonna start with the Titans and Seahawks. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that game, and then Vic, we'll just pass it around a little bit here, kind of do a little ping pong. Shout out to Rafael Nadal. I'm gonna start with the Titans and Seahawks. Okay, watching that game, I don't know, man. I think we said it on the show yesterday. I was staying away from that game in terms of betting purposes because that's just Tennessee is not a team you want to bet on or against because you just really don't know. Excuse me. I'm a professional. I apologize. Usually you just don't know. I had a little Jersey Mike's earlier, at Buffalo sauce.
But a little acid now, yeah.
All right. You just really don't know what you're gonna get out of the Tennessee Titans. And I think yesterday was really a prime example. These first 2 weeks of who Tennessee really is. They're either gonna dud or they're gonna stud. And yesterday, just watching that game for 3.5 quarters, man, I'm just like, Seattle's eventually gonna win this game,
right?
But then that big bull just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And all of a sudden, you looking up and he breaks a 60-yard touchdown. All of a sudden, you looking up, Seahawks taking bad angles, breaking tackles, getting pushed off the line of scrimmage. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, this one thing, Vic, this one thing. Derrick Henry has no chance to get the MVP this year. No chance. None whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you the biggest reason why. The biggest reason why is because there are 17 games in this NFL season. So what does that mean, Vic Jr.? I'm going to tell you what it means. It means you are going to have at least 6 quarterbacks. 6 quarterbacks is my prediction. I don't even call it a prediction. It's inevitable. You're going to have at least 6 quarterbacks with 5,000 plus passing yards. And there is no way they will give it to a running back when there is 6 quarterbacks with 5,000 plus passing yards. So I am here to propose something. I'm not the first to bring it up, but it is something that needs to be talked about. Because some of these offensive players, even though they're not nearly as valuable as the quarterback or even the offensive lineman, but these guys got to get some recognition now, especially guys like Derrick Henry, who are that choo-choo train for that particular offense, that particular team, really. Offensive Player of the Year needs to be a non-quarterback award.
Yes.
Because the MVP, especially now with this new 17-game season format, is officially a strictly quarterback award. And make no mistake, right? I got no beef with that. Because if a team 99 times out of 100 in today's NFL, 99.7895 out of 100, if they make the playoffs, the quarterback is the biggest reason for it. Most of the time. So I have no problem with the MVP going to the quarterback. But the Offensive Player of the Year, that needs to be a strictly skilled position award. Because guys like Derrick Henry, the run he's been on these last 3+ seasons needs to be recognized. It is impressive. It is dominant. And quite frankly, it needs to be recognized. I don't know what that's the bottom line for me.
I understand the importance of the quarterback position, of course, the value of that position brings, but I'm a running back at heart, and I agree with you 100%. Despite some of the deficiencies that we feel he may have, like you said, he is valuable to that football team. He goes perfectly with that offensive line. They've built a perfect scheme around him, where they do a lot of work in between the tackles. He's still a guy that can get out in open space as well. And once he gets started, he's hard to stop. It seemed like a little bit throughout that game in the beginning, especially Bobby Wagner and that Seattle defense was able to contain him a little bit. But it just seemed like at the end, they were able to get hats on the linebackers, get hats on Bobby Wagner, and they had some very big runs at the end. Tennessee had some big runs at the end, and which they were able to kind of dominate that game or take control of that game. Seattle just has to do better closing games, man. Seattle has to do better. The quarterback has to be better, even though he's doing great. They have to do better closing games, and that's going to cost them playoff spots at the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. That running back, he might not be the most talented one in this league right now, but he's definitely valuable for that football team. And as he goes, they will go too.
Next game I'm going to go to. Excellent points as always. Next game I'm going to go to, Big. Steelers versus Raiders. Raiders versus Steelers, rather. Okay. I'm going to be as honest can be in this game, about this game. Okay. Two things. Number one, I ain't buying the Raiders hype. Okay. Not even a little bit. I ain't jumping on that train. I don't even want that train to stop by and see if I'm going to jump on it because I want nothing to do with it. Where if I see the train going on some tracks, I'm going the opposite way. Okay. The Raiders ain't doing nothing this year. I'm sorry to say it. The Raiders are just not a good football team. I don't believe in them. I don't trust them. And I sure as have no faith in that quarterback. That quarterback has been the same quarterback for the last 77 years, okay? Nothing changes. Nothing evolves. He is who he is. Who he is a subpar quarterback that's very streaky, okay? What I do see consistently is him missing throws that NFL professional quarterbacks shouldn't be missing. And quite honestly, Vic, it don't really get talked about enough because he's Derek Carr. It's like, you know what? You've already done better than your brother. You already had a better career than the previous Carr, okay? Because that previous Carr, we know what happened to it. Partially to blame, mostly to blame the Texans organization, but we'll leave that conversation for a different day. I don't believe in him. I don't trust him whatsoever. Whatsoever. I think yesterday they got Pittsburgh at the right time. Pittsburgh was missing guys, and here it is, Vic. Here's my second big point about this. I am officially on the Ben Roethlisberger Bounty Patrol retirement committee. Okay. I started today. I signed the paperwork, the LLC, everything. Okay. I'm going to give it a few more weeks. Just to be fair to a legendary player.
Yes.
But if by like October 10th, if after October 10th, I don't see any progress, don't even come back next week, man. Don't even come back. Just retire, buddy. Just retire. You got nothing left to prove if you're Ben Roethlisberger. Right. You got 2 Super Bowls, 3 appearances. You've made yourself irrelevant for 2 decades while Peyton and Brady were in the same conference as you, and Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, who were in another conference, couldn't even do that. So Ben gets all my respect, man. Ben is probably third of his generation, and I mean that. But when your time is your time. Yeah. And I'm going to give it 2-3 more weeks. Yeah. And then I'm going to make my decision if we got to go out and hunt him down and bring him in.
Yeah, I've been talking about it, hopefully people listen to Vic. I've been talking about there's some regression. There has been some regression. I've seen it for a couple of years already. His depth of target has kind of decreased. It looks like they're kind of scheming more to keep, him throwing short and intermediate. He's not the same guy that throws with velocity and can throw that deep ball, threaten the deep ball. So there's some accuracy that of course, Ben has never been the most precise thrower. So, with some of those things regressing, some of his physical traits regressing, because this is another guy that he wasn't a runner, but he knew how to keep plays alive with how physical he was in the pocket. So, all those things are going down, and it's, Drew Brees, we saw him kind of fade away, and it might be time for Ben to fade away, but they need to find a backup plan, because you don't have somebody in uniform right now to help, so, as far as the Raiders, man, again, I'm a bigger fan of the Raiders than you are. I like Carr. I like him. I don't think he's great. I think he's reached his peak. And unfortunately, like you said, he misses throws that, you're like, I can't believe you missed that. Like, the week before he'll hit a nice crosser crossing the field. And then the next game, he's throwing it behind the receiver, like literally a yard behind the receiver. And it's like, what exactly is the thing there? He seems to have good fundamentals with his platform. But who knows? Who knows what happens? So again, he has some bad throws week 1, and even though he's thrown for over 300 yards each game, there have been some throws that, he needs to make. And again, stop getting excited about week 2. Unless, listen, if we want to get excited on a week-to-week basis, that's fine. So be it. But again, these are professionals and they're paid to win championships. Nobody remembers second place, let alone last place.
Yeah.
So, all right, you're excited for this week. But again, consistency is key in winning in this sport.
2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remembers. Shout out Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
Country grammar.
Country grammar.
That's right.
Yeah. What else you got?
So here's my third thing I want to talk about here, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Chiefs Ravens.
Okay. Shout out to Coach Les.
Yes.
He just rams into the room. I imagine Les kicking the door down. You know what I'm saying? And asking, did y'all talk about the Ravens yet?
Yeah, but
that's how I imagine him.
The door didn't budge and he had to knock and wait till we open it. All right.
Talk about
it. I'm gonna let Les live. I'm gonna leave Les alone for tonight. We get on the DC. We'll get on that later.
Oh yeah.
Once again, I am only here to give you my humble opinion. And my humble opinion can only be what I feel. So I'm gonna tell you what I feel. I'm gonna tell you what I thought. I'm gonna tell you what I believe. Okay. Last night, the Ravens won because of Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
However, the way they won last night is not going to cut it in January.
No.
And that's where we need to keep it even. Yesterday was a great career win for Lamar Jackson. It was a statement win. He made some pretty good throws. He made some plays, both with his arm and his legs. But just watching that, and he's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal when he's running the ball. That's not going to get it done in January because there's still certain things that we need to see. But to his credit, and this is something we always say when it comes to all these scouting experts, there is no metric to determine a player's ability to get better, a player's willingness, rather, to get better. And Lamar, he's gotten better because he has so much room to improve. But to his credit, there's improvement. Still, this is not this is a game that's okay, Lamar, good game. Now let's get better. Don't get too high on this game. Don't come out next week and lose and start going back to BS bad habits. Okay. Listen, man, if you got to run him, if he's got to throw those Derek Jeter style throws 3-4 times a game, I don't care. Individual differences, okay? That's what makes good quarterback coaches. And that's what makes quarterbacks successful. You have to allow for what they call individual differences. You have to allow, at the end of the day, a quarterback to be himself. There's a structure you need for him, but it's like 90% structure, 10% be yourself. And I think right now for Lamar, it's like there doesn't have that balance, but hopefully it can keep getting better. So for me, yes, it's week 2. So I'm not going to get too excited about it.
Right.
But I was thoroughly impressed with Lamar Jackson. Yeah. And to me, they won that game because of him.
No, I'm 110% with you, bro. Like, to be honest, I saw a man grow yesterday. Like, he became a man, okay? He became a football man yesterday. And he has some bad throws, like that throw in the end zone. I don't know what that was. Again, you cannot get away with that. When the defenses get tougher, when the weather gets colder, you cannot get away with things like that. There was a couple throws that he should have, but he should have not thrown. But there was some growth. There was some throws even on the outside, okay, on some out routes that were accurate. Those off-platform throws. Everybody loves the wild plays. Great. If he can get it done, he can get it done. But the Chiefs defense is still looking really bad. I don't know if it was more miscommunication or lack of talent, whatever case may be, but they were not looking good yesterday. And I expect the Chiefs to be better by the time the playoffs come around. I expect them to be a lot better when the playoffs come around. So again, it's week 2. But I was impressed too, man. That scene of Coach Harbaugh yelling to him, Lamar, do you want to go for it? And he says, obviously he's gonna say yes. They said, let's do it. That was a beautiful scene right there. because it shows that the kid is growing. The kid is becoming a man, and the coach left it up to him, to the leader of the football team, to decide if they were going to go for it. They did it, and they executed. That was beautiful to watch. And shout out to him. The Chiefs, hopefully I expect them to get better. Like I said, that offensive line looks like another line that's going to block very well, pass block, but the run blocking, a lot left to be desired there right now. They need to clean that up, seriously.
No, I agree with you. And I think that's the one thing that is something to keep an eye on going forward here in the NFL season is teams got to close games out. Okay. You don't win in the NFL with 3 quarters. You gotta win the game for 60 minutes. It takes all 60 minutes in the NFL. Simply that. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Ravens O-line is tough by Big Shot. Absolutely, they are.
They played a great game yesterday, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
For a line that we expected to regress, they had a good game. They had a lot of trap plays. They had a lot of having to get out in space and stuff like that, and they did a good job doing it. So that was a good game by them too.
Shout out to Jay Ham. He says slant routes for Lamar equals a 6-4-3 double play. Shout out to the dish as well. Let's get to this game tonight, Vic. Lions versus Packers. Look, we're going to keep this real simple. It's a division game. It's an early game. For the Packers, the season starts today, okay? Let's forget about week 1. Just throw that game away. Throw the film away. Nothing good came out of that. Nothing productive came out of that.
Nope.
But what you need to do tonight is come out and make a statement, okay? You can't win this game by a field goal. I know it's a division game. I understand that. Believe me, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But Monday Night Football, coming after disaster from week 1, week 2, everybody's going to be watching. Everybody's at home watching. Tom Brady just had 5 touchdowns. I mean, the Rams are soaring, which remember, you got 2 more weeks to join the train. Me and Big Shot ain't stopping after 2 weeks. Remember that. I think this still, if it's week 2, but I think there is potential for turmoil and destruction if you're the Packers, if you don't make it out of here tonight with a win. Yeah. Go ahead, Vic. Let's hear your opening thoughts.
So last week they had a total of 42 yards rushing.
Oh,
the Packers.
Yikes.
Aaron Jones had 5 touches. A.J. Dillon had 4 touches. That's, let's get back because, listen, that was the MVP last year, according to everybody else, but Victor Manuel Santana Jr. I'm putting out my government out on national TV. Everybody in the world thought that was the MVP, but the MVP needs a running game. Okay, because that's how they've been scheming. They scheme a really good, excellent run game. They have an excellent running back. They run block well, and then they feed off of that. Short, intermediate routes, screens, a lot of jet plays where the receivers are cutting across the formation in front of the quarterback. And that's how they've been winning games, and they need to get back to that because last week the Saints were suffocating them. So against this Detroit defense, which is not looking good, let's get back to that, because if they lose this game, like you said, man, oh boy, I'm going to have so much fun.
Look, man, again, this is one of those things with Aaron Rodgers where you took the offseason off. You made all this commotion. You made all this drama. You put all this last dance BS on a timeline. Don't. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Because if the middle of the season comes around and they struggling and they slowing out and they might miss the playoffs or
I better not hear him discussing on any table.
But I'm gonna tell you this, man.
Any table with this guy, with this dot, no.
About 4 or 5 years ago on Petty Avenue, shout out to Petty Avenue, Packers fans were everywhere. You walked in anywhere on Petty Avenue, they were everywhere. It's like people who do CrossFit. Like you don't gotta ask them. They just tell you. You walk in, you want a bagel. I'm a Packers fan. What kind you want? You want cream cheese with that? Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. Like they were everywhere. Shout out to Martin Lawrence. They were like a gnat at a family barbecue, just bugging the out of you. Okay. Now I can't see them nowhere. I can't see them anywhere. Okay. The frozen tundra fan base have gone frozen, Chief, because they nowhere to be found. Y'all better do something tonight, though. Do not lose tonight. That's all I'm gonna say. I think for the Packers, like Vic said, the run game is important, yes, but it is important that we just have better energy. I just need better energy, better body language, better gaff levels. Shout out to Myron Jenkins. We need better gaff levels from the Packers, okay? Over under in this game is 49.5. They are 11.5-point favorites. I'll tell you this, I'm going to take the Lions to cover. I'm going to take the Lions with the points, rather. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the Lions with the points. Give me the Packers to win just because I'm not going to be that dumb. But if I'm going to bet on this game, and I got 10 more minutes to decide, I'm taking the Lions with the points. Give me the Packers 30-23.
Is J-Bar Jorge? I think it's Jorge.
Maybe.
He said that's a new shirt. Don't. Hashtag F Sports right here. Shout out to him for bringing me this medium. You know what I mean? But it shows a little bit of the curves. Shows a little bit of the curves. But
OnlyFans, just drop your link, Vic. Jesus.
Pause. They should be able to obviously be able to win this game if they come to play. And again, like you said, it is a division game, but I want to see a convincing win here for the Packers. You said 30-23. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big score type of predictor guy, but I say 34-23. Packers.
Yeah. Moral of the story, folks. I'm gonna go do it. I believe I'm gonna go do it. Take the Lions with the points. That's my pick. That's my Monday Night Football gambling prediction. Like I said, man, we're gonna try to come back at y'all later on this week. If we go Thursday, it's not really gonna be a pregame show. It's gonna be more touching on some things, recapping some things, getting you set up for this next 4 weeks in the NFL, because this next 4-week stretch is crucial. Like usually it used to be September, like get out of September and survive. Now with a 17-game season, after the first 2 weeks, the next 4 weeks, they got some significance, no doubt about it, in my humble opinion. Vic, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Hey, like I said, like I've been saying, it's week 2. Let's get excited for football being here and how great it's been so far. And don't get overly excited on the results.
Amen to that.
Is that the best way to say it? Is that the best way to put it?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mo Schefter, Vic Coco Santana. Make sure you following us on Twitter. Make sure you following us on Instagram, scene_the.scene. Make sure you on the Facebook groups. Views from the 22 will be lit tonight as we have the thread in there. If you don't get tagged,